Hey, we're back. It's been a few months. Illinois basketball also almost back. Exhibition against Illinois State tomorrow. Got a lot to discuss about the future of this show and, of course, the season coming up. Let's go. Welcome to first episode, season 3 of From Beyond Champaign. I'm Cody, and a lot of you are probably happy that the Cubs are over so I can give you attention. Is that it? I'm just going to guess that might be it. Or maybe you're a Cubs fan and you're ready to move on, and maybe I can help you with that. You can follow me on Twitter, my new Twitter account, Cody_Illini. If you aren't a Illini fan, you know, there's a lot of fans out there of other sports, you know, that don't like me because I'm a Cubs fan. But you know what? Illini fans are everywhere. We're everywhere. So that's why I made this account. I want to engage with all of you Illini fans as much as possible. So go shoot the follow over there. I'm close to about 25 followers away from 300. So small account. We're growing over there. We're about 20 some subscribers away from 800 here on YouTube. Wow. I appreciate y'all who have kind of stuck around for the last couple years of me doing this show. And I know I've been gone for a little bit. It's a college football Saturday. Illinois is on a bye week and the girl is at work. I'm dog watching, and really I'm recording this at 1:15 p.m. I don't got a lot of care in a lot of the games that are going on right now. So I felt like today was the perfect day to finally hop back on here and you know, kind of update y'all on what's going on with this show and how I'm going to do the show here in year 3 of From Beyond Champaign. So if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button for me. If you're on Twitter, come hit that YouTube link and come over to YouTube. It's a different channel than the one I do all my Cubs content on. I have 2 different channels now. This is strictly just Illinois stuff. So, yeah. I guess we'll start with just how we're going to do this show moving forward. You know, the last couple of years I've tried to do post games like immediately after the game, and I think year 1 I was able to do it largely because I was just a single male living here in this apartment by myself. You know, and now I'm not, and so I got other things going on, and sometimes I got to do things the next day, or you know, I got life and other jobs and stuff I got to do this. So I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It will be pretty rare if I do a post game right after the game this year. Likely going to be something I do the next day, or maybe I record it that night but don't put it up until the next day. Thankfully, Illinois doesn't play a lot of back-to-back games during the season, so that content will still be pretty fresh for y'all that day after. So that's the main key of this moving forward, I'll say. As far as the show, a lot of the stuff I did over the summer, I just didn't have the time to put it up on the audio platform. So if you listen mainly on audio and you just felt like I disappeared after April, I didn't, because I put up so much content in the summer, at least the beginning of the summer, following the off-season stuff. So yeah, if you hadn't checked any of that out and you want a little bit of a refresher on what's going on with the team and new players on the team and stuff, feel free to check that out. But I guess my point with that is I'm going to do my best to get everything up on the audio platforms. I have to do that. And I think I know we're on Apple, we're on Spotify. I'm going to try and expand it to some other platforms here. Doing my own Cubs show now, I've kind of learned a little bit about how to do do these platforms that allow you to put podcasts on and stuff. So a little bit more knowledgeable on that end of the spectrum. So yeah, that's basically kind of a summary of how the show's going forward. Obviously if you followed me for Cubs stuff, you'd know what happened back in July. I'm not going to go into it. I really don't want to talk about it. I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of talking about it with people online who DM me and ask like what happened, and I just I don't want to talk about it. So that the point of that is that's why there's been nothing put up on this channel these last couple months. I've my entire life is kind of flipped upside down. I've had to can do a bunch of stuff to find a way to survive. So this show started as just something fun to do on the side because we didn't do college basketball content at my former employer. So, now that the season's coming up and my life is in a little bit of a better spot than it was in July and August, I hope to be able to provide y'all with just a fan perspective on what it's like being an Illinois fan. So, I'll always try and give some good insight. I'm not always going to be right. I'm not always going to be wrong. But I will tell you and I will show you that I am a diehard Illinois basketball fan. So it has been fun watching the football team up to this point a little bit. I think they've been a little bit of a disappointment the way they lost to Indiana. We knew they were probably going to lose to Ohio State, but they haven't given us the same feeling I feel like last season's team gave us. So who knows, maybe things will turn around here and we'll feel different by the end of the year. But the point is the football team is, I haven't used them to just get to this point. They've just been been a nice addition to my life. And it's a good time to be an Illinois athletics fan or whatever. The basketball team is good. Football team is good. Hell, the women's basketball team is good. There's a lot of things going on that's in the good for Illinois right now, and that excites me. So another year under Brad Underwood, I think they've made 6 straight NCAA tournaments, and yeah, there's a lot to discuss. I got the exhibition game against Illinois State tomorrow, and I guess we should start at the top with the fact that 4 players aren't going to be available in this game. Now, again, it's a exhibition. But Brad Underwood told media today that Tommy, Andrej Stojaković, Mihailo Petrović, and then obviously Ty Rodgers are going to be out for this game. This video that I'm about to play, I do not want to get the guy's name wrong. I want to give credit before I actually play the video. Carson Gordy at the Gordy Report on Twitter. He's a sports anchor at Fox Illinois, so let's just give Fox Illinois and Champaign the credit there. This is a video from him on Brad, and it's Brad Underwood talking about availability for tomorrow against Illinois State.
Ty will not suit up. Andrej Stojaković will not suit up. Tomislav will not suit up. Mihailo Petrović will not suit up. So we'll be without 4 guys that fought injuries. Mihailo has rolled his ankle in a pretty severe ankle injury. He's come back from that, and now he's tweaked a hamstring. And his status is still in process. So very similar to what we went through with Tommy last year in our.
Okay, so that video, he's talking about how I don't know why it stopped. Maybe I cut it on accident, but in that video he mentions that Petrović, a guy, he's largely out, I want to say, because he's still not eligible. He's still going through the process, but also he had an ankle injury and now he has a hamstring injury. So that's just it. I don't want to jump to big conclusions here, but it feels like a mess. It would be nice if we could just get this processing done. It's very similar to Tommy's situation last year. Will he be ready for opening night? I will I would bank on yes. Yes, he will. Stojaković, I feel like it's more of a precautionary thing. There's video out there of him, warming up, taking shots, doing some dribble, some ball drills. God, I can't talk. Some ball drills with the coaching staff today. So I think it's just one of those like precautionary things. No reason to put him out there in a game that doesn't matter. But he has been out for like the last month, over a month actually. So I guess I'm a little concerned there just because I would like to see him get into some game action, but I understand why he's not out there in this one. And then Tommy, I guess he got his tonsils out, or that's just what I read was about tonsils. So I think that's just more of a, if you ever got your tonsils out before, or if you've been sick from and your got sore throat, you know how that goes. So yeah, that's it. I'm more so just I'm taking the high road on this one, saying that it's not a big deal. Ty Rodgers, who knows? They continue to say he's out indefinitely. Who knows? I don't know. But if he's out the entire year, that's a massive loss for this program. So I would say Petrović is probably number one on my concern list, just because he's had multiple injuries. He's still going through the process of trying to be eligible, all these things. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Now, this week, the first KenPom rankings came out, and I know the AP poll came out. If it wasn't this week, it was the week before. In Illinois, and I'll just be frank with you, I didn't really look at all the other schools and compare, but Illinois on KenPom ranked number 6, and then in the AP poll, I believe they're ranked 16th. So that's a big difference, right? They're not even a top 10 team, or they're ranked 17th. They're ranked 17th on the AP poll and 6th in KenPom. All right. Other Big Ten schools in the AP poll ahead of them include Purdue, obviously number 1, Michigan at number 7, which is not surprising, UCLA at number 12. I don't think I missed any. So 3 teams ahead of Illinois there in the AP poll. Now in KenPom, they have Purdue number 3, and that's it. So KenPom thinks Illinois is better than Michigan and UCLA. UCLA is ranked number 10, Michigan number 11. So it's not a big difference. Offensive and defensive efficiency ratings, they got Illinois at number 6 and for offense and 16 for defense. So again, these things, it's preseason. It's, I used to get excited about just being ranked because this program was in the dumps for so long in the 2010s. And now I've just become pretty, I've become pretty, whatever, content about just, season's almost here. Illinois is ranked to start the year. Great. Now, I will say when it came to the football team, seeing them ranked preseason was like wild, right? But with basketball, the expectations have risen, and this is a norm. So I'm not sitting here trying to push propaganda about how awesome it is that we're ranked and to start the year or anything like that. It's just more of like, what do you think is more? What do you think is more likely? The fact that will they be a top 10 team in the country in the all season, or are they more of like, I don't want to say they're just inside the top 25 in the AP poll, but they're kind of in the middle of the pack. For me personally, I would say right now the AP poll is what I think this team is, but that's largely just because we haven't seen a lot of these guys from overseas perform. I hope I change my mind. If KenPom thinks that this team can be a top 6 team in the country, that's a big deal. And I know that this year they have a lot of guys coming back. Tommy, Kylan Boswell, right? Like those guys are going to be your dogs, your horses. You're in terms of experience and stuff. Stojaković, you hope that he, finally flourishes with a good team, right? Like there's plenty of reasons to believe that this team is going to be part of the mix in the Big Ten, at least, right? Like I still think that Illinois is going to be a top five team in the Big Ten this year. They bring back experience. They got positional size, right? Like there's no reason for me to not think that they're not going to be at least in the top 5 of the Big Ten. But for KenPom to put them at number 6, I was like, wow. I won't complain about it. It's nice to see some recognition from the analytics nerds. I'll say that much. But I also will say that the AP poll, it's such a waste to even look at anymore. I just don't think that at this point you can say Illinois is a top 6 team in the country. And if you put them at 17, then fine in the AP poll. Like if they would have been in the top, somewhere in the top 25 on KenPom, I've been like, all right, that makes sense. So for me, I would say they're more likely to be what their AP poll ranking is than their KenPom ranking is right now, at least. We'll see. We'll see how things plan out. Let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comments, and I will try and get back to you guys on that. That's another thing I'm going to try and do this year is try and actually read and reply to most of the comments on YouTube. I've been really bad at it the last couple of years. So hand up, that's my bad, but I will try and get back. So let me know. You think Illinois is more what KenPom's saying or AP poll? All right. Now, strengths and weaknesses. We're about 16 minutes in. I'm going to try and keep this to under 30 minutes. Strengths and weaknesses for this team. Now, I was reading, I'm a subscriber of Illini Inquirer 24/7 Sports. They have great writers over there. They do great content. I was reading this article from Isaac Trotter, and it's basically like a season preview about the basketball team. And obviously goes through each individual player. I highly recommend reading this for someone who maybe doesn't follow college basketball as much during the off season and all of that. But I was reading this because I just needed a little tune up. Like I'm following this stuff in the off season plenty, but also like there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't really know. So I want to go over the strengths and the weaknesses that he mentions in here, and then we'll talk about them. We'll start with the strengths because that's the fun stuff, right? 7 of the top 9 players in this rotation are upperclassmen. So we're talking about Kylan Boswell, Andrej Stojaković, Ben Humrickhouse, Tommy Ivišić, Zvonimir Ivišić. I guess you can say Petrović, considering he's 22 years old. Jake Davis, right? And then Ty Rodgers is going to be on the bench. The rest are very young dudes, right? Including Keaton Wagler, who's been getting a lot of hype this, I guess you could call it preseason because Petrović hasn't been eligible yet. So he's been getting a lot of run and people are really pushing his stock right now, right? So that's one of the first strengths. And I do think that is a real strength because last year, we saw just how annoying that team was because of how young they were. They were led by 2 freshmen. Now, those 2 guys, they went on the NBA, and they're going to be awesome, I think. But there's a lot more veteran leadership on this team heading into 2025, 2026 season. And I think that is just going to be a breath of fresh air for this team and this program. And hopefully they build off last year. I know they didn't get to the Sweet 16 last year, but I also don't know if anyone thought they would. I think everyone always talked about the ceiling. I should just make that a bit. I think I talked about that over the summer a little bit. Is everyone talked about the ceiling from last year and how like this team is so talented they could go to an Elite 8 or something like that even. And I still believe that was true. The problem is they were so young and they just beat themselves up so many times. And because of that, they didn't get a good seed. They had to face Kentucky in round 2, who was clearly a better team than you. And yeah, you didn't get to a Sweet 16 again, right? And I think that is a fair expectation to have anymore for a Brad Underwood team, is to get to the Sweet 16. Didn't happen last year. Would I call the season an absolute failure? No. But it is frustrating, and it is something that Illini fans should and deserve to have some criticism for. And I'm fine with that. As much as I'm a Brad Underwood guy, I'm fine with that. But to bring it back around, This team, a lot older this year, a lot more experience. And I think that is going to be such a breath of fresh air for the 2025-2026 season. All right. Now, other strengths. He said one of the best shooting front courts in college basketball, which we're probably talking about the Twin Towers, right? Big T, Big Z, right? Those guys can shoot the ball. Elite point of attack defender in Boswell. I think Kylan Boswell, if he is not part of the Big Ten all defensive team this year, we should riot outside the headquarters here in Chicago. I'm just saying. All right. 3 ball handlers who notched over 200 pick and roll reps last year. That's Boswell, Stojaković, and Petrović. With a 4th, Wagler emerging. I am interested to see how Wagler shows out tomorrow. If there's anyone that I'm really interested to watch tomorrow, it's Keaton Wagler, just because of how much hype he's getting. But yeah, transition offense bump incoming. Listen, Brad Underwood, when he has talked about Andrej Stojaković, he has literally compared him to Terrence Shannon Jr. Now, do I think he's as good of an athlete as Terrence Shannon Jr.? Probably not. Maybe he's close. I think he's a better shooter than Terrence Shannon Jr. I'll give him that. But they do need to get running. They need to get running. And that's the way that the good Brad Underwood offense did 2 years ago. And I think he'll be a big key in that transition offense. All right. Loads of positional size. Just mentioned the Twin Towers. These Balkans coming over internationally. They can all shoot the ball. This is why not having Ty Rodgers is a big loss, in my opinion, too. More so for defensive reasons than offense, obviously. But we got, Ben Humrickhouse, he's gained 25 pounds this year, going into this year. Will he take that year 2 jump? I think it's possible. I just don't think it'll be as notable as other guys that we've talked about, but maybe a guy like Jake Davis takes a bigger jump this year. Right. I'm intrigued to see what David Mirković does on this Illini team in year 1. I'm not expecting much early. Maybe he's a guy that progresses as the season goes along, right? But I am really intrigued about Jake Davis and Ben Humrickhouse when it comes to those year 2 jumps heading into this season. Let's see. Lineup optionality to go very big or small based on the matchup. Multiple matchup hunting options. It's classic Brad Underwood. What teams always do. A mix of rim pressuring guards paired with stretch bigs gives the offense vroom potential. Multiple NBA prospects. This team's super talented. They got a lot of dudes. They got veteran leadership. They got some young guys who could maybe put this team on another level that maybe a lot of us aren't expecting. Yeah, man. Those are for sure the strengths of this team going into this season, and I'm excited. I just don't feel like people are talking about Illinois. No one's talking about Illinois right now. Everyone's talking about Purdue, rightfully so. They're ranked number 1. And they've been one of the best programs in college hoops, let's just call it the last 5 years, right? Michigan getting Merez Johnson, still looking forward to that revenge game potentially for either one of these sides. That game is going to be a movie this season. Michigan and Purdue getting the most hype, I think, going into the year. I think people just don't know if going international like Brad Underwood did is going to bring success. And we're going to find out. I like it though. I like the move. I like this international go around. I like it. So, and I say that because so many guys here in the States, and it's nothing against them, but so many of them, how do I say it without sounding like a terrible person, but so many of them are just so eager to leave. Why would Merez Johnson want to leave? Why did Adam Miller want to leave? Right. And it's just, I don't know. It feels like, I think Brad said something along the lines of this, of, these guys internationally want to play. They want to play. And that sounds so like duh, but it seems like they want to be part of something. And I don't know, man. I'm just going to put a little bookmark in that. We'll dive more into that in the next episode, perhaps. All right, let's go into the weaknesses. Trotter lists: Boswell, Petrović, and Stojaković all shot under 32% from downtown last year. Offensive rebounding seems destined to plunge. Defensive personnel is uninspiring behind Boswell. Not the most athletic team in the Big Ten. Can anyone stop those athletic fours? Like, he hits it right on the nail here with these concerns. First off, I love Kylan Boswell. I'm excited about Kylan Boswell. But he's got to shoot better from three in year 2, man. Like, he had a like generational type like fall from as a 3-point shooter last year. And they're just going to need him to be more like what he was at Arizona, which was closer to 40% than 30%. Kylan Boswell shot below 25% from three last year. Like, it wasn't good. They're going to need him to be better, right? Stojaković, it'll be interesting to see like the volume that he has from outside. The guy can fill it up, but if he's shooting 30% or better from three, I'll live with that. And Petrović, coming from overseas to Illinois, 22-year-old, we're going to see. I don't really know what to expect, but I do think that his age will bring some form of, stability and be part of like that veteran leadership, I guess, because he's got a lot of experience. He's older. So the questions about not being good 3-point shooters, or just the question about it as a team overall, I understand, because the team jacked up as many threes as anyone in college basketball last year, but had one of the lowest percentages in all of college basketball. And Brad Underwood's going to stick with that type of play. He wants to play fast. He wants to shoot a lot of threes, right? Like, I would like them to adjust earlier if this team just isn't a good 3-point shooting team. But I just watching Brad Underwood, and maybe this is his biggest criticism at times, is like he sticks to his guns. Like, he believes in his guys as shooters, so he doesn't change too much up. Last year, after some really tough stretches, they finished the season strong. They got better from shooting on the outside, but it was because they started getting the ball inside a lot more. So they can't get 3-point shot happy, I think. There's got to be balance still, right? So that's what I just said is based off a vibe more so than anything else. But anyway, yeah, I think 3-point shooting has to be better. Maybe, and this is a good transition into the other point, like the offensive rebounding from last year was one of the best in the country. Is it destined, like he said, to just plummet to more of a neutral level, or just go to the extreme opposite side? I would say probably more neutral. So maybe the 3-point shooting goes up a huge notch, but the offensive rebounding is just more neutral. Like, they were one of the best offensive rebounding teams in college basketball last year. Offensive rebounding is a big reason why they won games, because they jacked up so many threes and missed them, but Tommy or someone was around to get an offensive rebound to get another opportunity, leads to a layup, something like that. Happened a lot. The offensive rebounding saved Illinois last year many times. Okay. So I would expect it to maybe take a little bit of a plummet, but I don't see it like going to the extreme to the other side. You know what I mean? Because again, they do have positional size, and they can play guys all over the court. They can play big. They can play small. Yeah. And then his final thing is the defense overall is not inspiring outside of Boswell. And that's obviously my biggest concern about this team going into 2025, because man, their defense was bad last year outside of Kylan Boswell. Like, it just was bad. KJ got crossed up all the time. Will Riley, uninspiring defender. Tommy blocks shots, but man, he can't move his feet. Benham Rickhouse got pushed around plenty. That's why it's a big deal that he's gained 25 pounds, in my opinion. yeah, and now we got a bunch of new guys to go with some of these guys that we watched last year. And I hope that it is at least visibly better. That, again, I hope. They brought in a new coach that can help with, with the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully it does, because what we're doing, drop coverage every single time down, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I watch it and I'm like, this works. And then I watch it other times. I'm like, why aren't we changing things up here, Brad? I'd like to play a little bit more zone. They're not going to, but I wouldn't be mad if we saw a little bit of it, So defense, as a team defense as a whole, is probably my biggest concern going into the season. My biggest excitement is probably to see if this team is going to shoot better. I'm excited to see if this team's going to shoot better. My biggest concern is, can we defend? Because they need to defend better. Point, like, just plain and simple. All right. So those are your strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to do some like just player expectation shows here before the regular season really tips off. So if you stuck around, if you're live with me right now, if you're listening after this is recorded, as part of moving up to the regular season, I'm going to try and do 3 shows a week, but they're probably going to be like 30 minutes, and we're at the 31-minute mark now, so I need to get out of here. But I'm going to try and do some short 30-minute shows, doing some breakdowns, talking about some guys, my expectations for them, and that. Maybe get a couple guests on here and talk about their expectations for this team, and then really get excited for when this team opens up. So, yeah, man, I appreciate the few people who are watching with me on a Saturday, a college football Saturday in October it's almost 2 p.m. So if you are here on YouTube, please hit the like button. It helps other Illinois fans find the podcast, the show. Subscribe on the audio. The link is in the description. And yeah, let's get ready for this basketball season. I'm really excited. I am going to Illinois, Alabama at United Center this year. That's later, like basically the week of Thanksgiving. And then I'm also going to Illinois, Tennessee in Nashville in December. I'm really excited. Can't wait, especially the one in Nashville. Really excited. I've been to like every Illinois Tennessee game. I feel like since they started playing every single year in the non-con, and Illinois is yet to beat them. Can we finally beat them? Maybe this is the year. We'll see. But more on that and other stuff to come down the road. But I will be back. Next week, and I'll be aiming for a Monday or a Tuesday. So until then, my friends, I appreciate your support. And as always, ILL.